Okay. So if you're new to the Azure environment or creating an Azure tenant, and you would navigate to azure.microsoft.com, which is where we are right now. And given that you're creating a new tenant, what you're going to do is click on New to Azure, Get Started. And then what you'll do is they'll let you try one or do a pay as you go. So we'll go ahead and create a free tenant. And I'm going to switch the tab. And so what it's doing now is it's going to ask me to log in. And so what we've done is in our previous episode, we created Intuitive. And what I wanted to do is go and log in. What we're going to do is we can't sign in with Intuitive yet because we don't have an account. So we're going to create one. And so we're going to create this account. So Intuitive, click next, and then it sends an email to our Intuitive email address to make sure that we actually own that account. And so I am logged into my email. Would you like information? Sure, Microsoft, send me some tips. And we click next. It's going to ask to prove that you're a human. So it says press and hold the button, prove that I was a human. And now it is provisioning our first tenant. Do I want to set up that? No, not right now. We can do that later. And so create your Azure free account. Do I want to chat? Not at the moment. Profile information. How do you want to use this Azure account? It will be used in connection with an organization. Intuitive is a company, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to link it to Intuitive Inc. Where's the country? United States. This is the information that you created your company with. And I am going to make sure that I put the same information that I put in when I created the company. So, yeah, but I know my address. So you're seeing firsthand how awesome this can be. Let me see. Let me remove this. ATL. Let's just do it all caps. See if that does it. Next. It liked all caps. You gotta be. Atlanta is not all caps, but okay.
Right. Make sure you put your address in all caps. The city in particular. Only the city.
And then you make sure that you have a Zen moment before you fill out this form.
Right.
Just don't get upset. All right. And now they're asking for credit card information, even though it's a free account. And all that's correct. And then sign up. And it's asking us to do multi-factor authentication. We're creating your account. Please check your email for the additional steps to finalize. All right. And here we are. Without further ado, they are welcoming us to our new tenant. And so let's get started. How do you plan to deploy and manage? We're going to use AI. We're going to architect and do this. We're going to develop and scale native applications. Oh, we're going to do it all because that's what we do. All right. So now we are in our Azure tenant that we just went through. They give you this little tour and I'll go through it just so that you know where you can create resources. It tells you how to navigate home. It talks about the dashboard, all the services. You can create favorites. You can search for things. You can use Copilot. It tells you where you get your notifications and it tells you where to go for help. Talks about your account and you're finished. Got it. All right. So what we're going to do is, this is our default directory. So we see that we have that configured. So we're going to go to home. And what we need to do is navigate to the Entra ID for our account. And so when you first set up your account, it's not linked to a domain. So default domain directory is, and it did not ask me if that's what I wanted to be, but it's Dexter Hardy Intuitive on Microsoft.com. So we clearly don't want that to be the custom domain. So we're going to click on custom domains and we're going to add our custom domain. So our domain is Intuitive. Is always make sure that I am spelling that correctly on a typo domain. So now what it's telling us to do is, in order to verify that we own this domain, it's asking us to either create an MX record or a text record with this information in it and then click verify. So the best way to do that is I am going to go back to the host domain hoster that's using it, and I'm going to create a text record. So I'm going to go back to Network Solutions. I'm going to click on Manage Intuitive.com, and because DNS is managed on this tenant, I can click on Advanced Tools and click Manage. Yes, I know. And yes, I know. User error. I don't want to change that. I want to manage DNS records. It's very important not to do what I just did. All right. So on the DNS record, what it asked us to do was the instructions were to create a text record. So I'm going to click back over to look at the instructions. So it says create a text record with the host alias of @ the description or destination or point of address is this value, and set time to live as 3600. So I'm going to copy that because I can remember the other two. And I'm going to go back to Network Solutions, DNS, and I'll share that. And what it needs to do is click on this add a new record. And there are several different types. I don't need to get into that for this video, but let's click on text. The referrer is @, and then the value was this. Time to live was 3600. I'm going to make it an hour and click add. And that's going to take a second for that to update. It says that DNS records can take up to 24 hours for it to take effect. What I am going to do is refresh our records. So at the top, you have our A records, you have your CNAME records. And again, this is not a deep dive into what those records are. There is the text record that it created. I just created, and I set it to live for 1 hour. So now I am going to go back to the portal and hope that since this is hosted by Network Solutions, that it will go ahead and update. So I'll click verify, and it says that it was successful in doing that. I will let Microsoft do its thing and leave this window alone until it's done. It says successfully verified domain with default directly. Just go ahead and close that and refresh this window. And there it is. I'm not a very patient person, I will admit. And so what I did was it was saying that it verified. It didn't close the window. So I closed it and then I refreshed the window. And now you see that the custom domain intuitive.com has been added and verified on our default directory. But what I also want to do is I don't want to use this for emails or anything. I actually don't want to use it for anything at all. And so what I need to do now is click on Intuitive and then make that the primary and say yes. And so now it's good to know these windows do not automatically close. So it said that it verified, and I will click the X. And I will go back to this window. It doesn't automatically update. I'll refresh. And now our primary domain is intuitive.com. So now we have linked our domain out in Network Solutions to our Azure tenant over in Azure. And that should conclude setting up your Azure tenant.